Howdy Gospel Community Leaders. This week is a standalone sermon on the mission of God. Again, if you haven't had a chance to listen to the sermon podcast, it is available below. So is the sermon manuscript. Please listen to or read through that. If you were not there, it'll really help you get geared into where we're headed this week. God has given us and is equipping us for the great task of being His witnesses. Okay, so He's the power that equips us, but we are the people who proclaim it. And so God, in His infinite wisdom, but even though it seems like a ridiculous plan, has chosen that humans, redeemed, saved humans, will be the main mouthpieces, proclaimers of the gospel. And through that, He has been, He is, and will continue to build His church. And so that's exciting. This whole week was about the mission of God, the Great Commission of God, Acts chapter 1, verse 8. So that's where we're headed. It's gonna be a little bit different this week. We'll get into that here in just a second. Two announcements that you'll want to make sure. There's three announcements. Two you definitely want to hit. Continue to pray for Haiti, and keep an eye on the social media and on the blog for updates about that. So keep praying for that team. And then bring your mother to our corporate gathering on Mother's Day this coming Sunday. We're going to have free photos being taken, and then they'll be distributed later there as well. So hit that so people can be inviting their moms to come with them. All right, this week, based on the fact that this is a standalone sermon, again, I've been doing this recently as we try to establish certain rhythms. Okay, so we're getting ready to plunge into another sermon series, and during that sermon series, back to back, week after week after week, the rhythm will be discussion questions as we normally do them. Right after that, we'll be jumping directly into another sermon series, and that will remain the case, discussion questions week after week after week. However, when we have breaks in this with the standalone sermons or Easter Sunday or little breaks in the action like that as far as the sermon content is concerned, I like to take advantage of those opportunities to do different things in our gospel community groups than we would normally do, just to kind of mix up the rhythm just a little bit. So this week will be slightly different, only because instead of mainly focusing on discussion questions, we're going to mainly focus on prayer. So you're going to be facilitating prayer with your groups this week. Now, I have a directional guide here. We're going to pray first of all through Matthew 9:38 that God would send forth laborers into the harvest. So we're going to pray that kind of overarching general prayers, and then we're going to break down the rest of our time in prayer into three parts. The power of the mission, we're going to worship God and celebrate Him for being the power of the mission. We're going to pray for the people of the mission. We're going to pray for ourselves. There's actually some discussion time in that where we check up on one another. We kind of gut check, how are we doing at fulfilling the Great Commission. We're going to read Acts 1:8 before the power of the mission. We're going to read Acts 1:8 before we pray about the people of the mission. And we're going to read Acts 1:8 before we pray about the places of the mission. And we're going to pray in general for the tri-state and for Haiti and for the unreached peoples of the world, for our families. But also, if you are a gospel community group that is already on mission, you have established a specific mission that you're on, then in that case, you can pray for that as well. So those are going to help you walk through that. So you're going to facilitate prayer. Don't have super high expectations. This will be different for each group. Some of you groups, your groups pray together often, and so this is normal for you, for everyone to participate. For others, maybe it's only a few different people who normally pray. So encourage everyone to be involved. Don't make a big, they don't have to be long prayers, they don't have to be super robust prayers, but encourage us again, because this is a special week where we're kind of dedicating a specific amount of time to prayer, so you can kind of push for this. This is a time to exhort your group and those in your group to take part in this praying together. And so you're going to take time to pray together. Encourage everyone to be involved, but don't demand it. Don't single anybody out directly to pray unless you know for a fact that they're the type of people who will respond well to that, or if you have checked with them before and asked them to be involved in that. But at the same time, don't do all the praying yourself. Invite people into that with you, and that should go well. And then with what time is remaining, and again, that's important. We want to dedicate. Prayer is the main emphasis this week. Prayer for the mission of God. And so, but with whatever time is remaining, we will have time there to talk about mission. And this is a great week to capitalize on that, to talk amongst your group about how you are going to missionally engage the tri-state area. If you're already on mission, you've already have a specific mission that you're involved in, then you kind of are free on this one to just move on and continue with your evening. But if you're not yet on mission, this is a great week to capitalize on having more of that discussion. One final announcement that you can announce if you want is that this coming Sunday we jump into a new series, Jesus in His Own Words, and we're super excited to see what God's going to do through that sermon series at Redemption Church. If you have any questions, let me know. Love you guys so much. Have a great week.